What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time for another episode of 7 on Sunday in my installment series within an installment series. 7 on Sunday, except I have a long running thing where I do super underrated songs from insert band or artist here. And this week I wanted to talk about Fall Out Boy because there seems to be some confusion. People think I hate Fall Out Boy. People think I hate a lot of bands, but this one I really do want to clear up because I am a huge fan of really everything up to Folie à Deux, their 2008 release, and even a lot of American Beauty, American Psycho, and Save Rock and Roll. Just because I haven't liked their 2 new singles doesn't mean that I am shitting on everything that they've ever done. So let's get the facts straight, go back, watch some of my older reviews, and also check out this video today because I'm going to talk about 7 songs that I totally love that I just don't think get enough praise. And maybe you personally love them, maybe you disagree with me and have your own personal list. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you feel is underrated? And don't forget to leave a like on the video while you're here. Let's go ahead and jump in right at number 7. Running it all the way back to 2003, we have a cut from their debut album, Take This to Your Grave, reinventing the wheel to run myself over. This one just has everything that made early and later Fall Out Boy Fall Out Boy. It had kind of depressive lyrics, very emo at heart, but at the same time it had a very nice pop-punk feel that I think a lot of people gravitated towards. And though this record has gotten a lot of praise over time, a lot of fans seem to love it, obviously I do as well, and I will review this album eventually, maybe before their new album drops in the fall. I just felt like this is one of the songs that really stood out to me that I've never really heard people praising all that much. I hear people talking about, obviously, the singles, but this one has a great little drum thing going on in it, and I like the really catchy vocal approach from Patrick Stump on this one. The chorus is earwormy as hell, and there's a lot of progression with the instrumental. Whoa, can't do it by myself. I love the playful vocal thing that Patrick does there, and obviously the chemistry between the band was felt on this tune. It's massive, it deserves more fame in their back catalog, and I hope you guys will check it out if you haven't already. I always find myself saying the line, "Oh hell yes," from this track, West Coast Smoker. This is the closing moment from their album Folie à Deux. A madness shared by two is what that means. This came out in 2008, and it's one of those albums that was kind of overlooked by fans at the time, and I understand, I guess, maybe a little bit why, but it really wasn't all that different, except maybe in the lyrical approach from Pete Wentz, and them adding in some slower moments and that sort of thing. But after hearing tracks off of Infinity on High, you would think that fans would see it coming. This isn't such a drastic departure like their new stuff seems to be from Mania. Now, on this song in particular, I love that it seems like the storyteller in the scenario, in the context of the album, has kind of overcome a lot of battles, and like the band themselves said, it's kind of like a full circle thing. He's writing from somebody else's point of view, and on West Coast Smoker, it just seems to be like almost like a meltdown and that sort of thing, but there's a lot of confidence flowing out of the person once again. Obviously, Pete Wentz, through these lyrics all throughout Folie à Deux, talked about not only the character's point of view, but also some of his own personal experiences with depression, anxiety, attempted suicide, pills, all that stuff. And West Coast Smoker seems to be just a buildup of letting everything out. It's a way to just vent your frustrations to the world. And I love the screams on this one, where obviously Patrick is saying, "Oh hell yes," but then Pete shouting in the background, "I'm a nervous wreck." I love that. It screams like early Fall Out Boy meets new Fall Out Boy in the best way possible. Please, more like this.
And I saw God cry in the reflection of my enemies, and all the lovers with no time for me, and all of the mothers raised their babies to stay away from me.
Here comes a stab to the emotions of the heart. Golden is the name of the song, and it comes from 2007's Infinity on High. I love this moment to death because it is so painful. You feel what they're feeling, and this was something so new for Fall Out Boy at the time. In fact, this is still, I believe to date, the only one where it just uses a piano. Sure, on the title track from Save Rock and Roll, you do have the pianos that build the song, but it wasn't just that. This one is literally just Patrick Stump and Pete Wentz's, obviously, his lyrics, and then the piano part on this one. And it's gorgeous. It's hopeless, it's depressing, and he's talking about the way that he sees the world and how people look at him, and it's all so frustrating, and he just wants to give up. And for that reason, I feel like this song is very relatable for a lot of people, and we've all had those times in our lives. So I don't feel like this one gets enough praise. It's short and it is bittersweet because I love the tune, but it hurts so much because you can feel what Wentz was going through at that time. And I miss that realism in the Fall Out Boy lyrics. My next selection today is from their second album, From Under the Cork Tree. The song is called Champagne for My Real Friends, Real Pain for My Sham Friends. This is one of those that seems to be about their growing fame, their time in the spotlight, and the reason why they are doing things and in the music industry in the first place. Like, they're doing things because they want to have the scars, the experiences, instead of just going out and saying, I want the fame. And I love Fall Out Boy's take on things on this track. It's kind of like still rocking, but this one differentiates itself from its peers on this very album just because it does slow down the tempo a bit, and I like how it's almost a bit more calming with the effect that it has on me as a listener, and I'm sure others as well. This song has a great message behind the lyrical content, and I do have to commend Stump and Wentz, obviously, on the lyrical content and just the singing style on this track. Their approach was kind of unique at the time for Fall Out Boy because it showed that they were not afraid to tackle other types of songs, not just ones that could be big rock or alternative singles like Sugar We're Going Down or A Little Less 16 Candles. This one was a bit more restrained but still pulled it off and totally nailed the song.
She's in a long black coat tonight, waiting for me in the downpour outside. She's singing, baby, come home, in a melody of tears while the rhythm of the rain keeps time. I remember, baby, come home, baby, come home.
Contrary to popular belief, I actually don't hate everything post-hiatus. In fact, I've given at least the albums a 3.5 out of 5, which isn't bad at all. In fact, that's a pretty damn positive review, so I'm not sure where that skewed opinion would come from. But I think Jetpack Blues goes unnoticed by some because, of course, it wasn't a single, but I like the lyrical content. It really just seems to paint a portrait. Patrick Stump's singing on this is really, really cool, and Andy Hurley on the drums. He's kind of got this bombastic, peppy thing going, especially as those beats kind of skip during the chorus. And it's one of those hooks that does soar. The way that Stump sings, baby, come home. I just always was drawn to that from the first time I heard it. It has a certain atmosphere about it, and it's like it does tell a story, but it's from a different side of things. And I like that the band started writing more as a group after the hiatus. That is one thing that I have to praise. Instead of just Wentz, we have contributions all around, and I think this is one of the tunes where it is felt the most and paid off the most for them. It is more of a pop rock tune, but it definitely has a sweeping melody to it, and I get caught up in that feel and that atmosphere and vibe, so I would love to see more in this vein from the band. One could argue that the entire mini-album Paxam Days is underrated, and I would totally agree with you. I am not going to fight you on that because it totally is. And it was so cool to see after Save Rock and Roll, they just went and banged out some punk rock tunes, and this is awesome. They just came right off the cuff. Most of them are 2 minutes or less, and I was debating between putting Caffeine Cold and, of course, the one that I did choose, Eternal Summer, on the list. They're both great, but I chose this one just because I like that we see a much more angry angry vocalist on this one. We see lyrics that definitely came up quick, but at the same time, they pack a punch because there is anger there, and you can really feel the smashing drums and those hard-hitting, kind of howling guitars that you don't see from Fall Out Boy, especially in this day and age. It was something they did for fun, and I think this track is one of the best from the entire sessions there. Something about the way that it builds up, and obviously you kind of hear that feedback on the guitar, but once those drums kick in and then Patrick starts shouting, things really take off.
I got the red carpet blues, baby. So put your hands in the air and don't make a sound. But don't get the wrong idea. We're gonna sit you, we're gonna sit you.
My final pick today, and no, this isn't a number one or anything like this. None of these were in particular order this week. I think that they're all underrated, and I don't want to necessarily put one over the other. But the one that I am putting last on my list today is It's Hard to Say I Do When I Don't. It's a bonus track from Infinity on High on the deluxe edition of the record, and I really do like this one. This one, and obviously Gay is not a synonym for shitty. Both of those I have talked about before, but I feel like I haven't talked about this one as much, so I wanted to touch on it briefly. I really like the kind of chill guitar momentum that this one has. It sweeps you up in it, but it's not one of those things where you feel like you necessarily have to dance or you have to be sad. It just kind of makes you, like they say in the song, sway your hands, put your hands up. And there's a lot of references to guns and that sort of thing, and like maybe being forced to do something, and I like the perspective that they kind of put the listener in, except they give us like a positive spin on it because the vocals feel kind of cheery and happy, but maybe there's something a little bit more going on behind the lyrics. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my picks for 7 super underrated Fall Out Boy songs today. Let me know some of your picks. Fill in the blanks in the comment section down below for anything you think I might have missed. Do you agree with my picks, and what would you add to it? Don't forget to leave a like while you're here, and let me know what other bands that you'd like to see me do this with in the future. If you're able to help me out on Patreon, it's that annotation over there in the corner. If you can donate on a monthly basis, it really helps videos like this keep coming on Beyond ARTV and my main channel ARTV as well. If you would like to see the last super underrated video I did, click right here, or the most recent episode of 7 on Sunday right over here. Socials in the description, and I'll see you very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.